So in May of 2021, I started writing my first novel, a debut novel. And I'm still hoping to be published this year, maybe at the end of this year. I don't know. I wrote the novel. So I started writing in May and I finished it in September. So the book is complete. Right now, I've queried maybe in between a little bit under 10 agents. So what am I going to be doing next? The good question is, should I start writing the sequel even though the first book has not been assigned or published yet? I think I should wait for a second and let's let this first book get on the ground, hit the ground, to see if we even need to even think about a sequel. However, I really do want to write a sequel to this book because I love the story. I think everybody will love it. I think the book resonates with anybody in the general population. With that being said, sometimes, guys, the reality of things is not what you would imagine it. Sometimes we have to take a step back before we take our next couple steps forward, and that's where I'm at now. I have to make a decision. Do I want to continue writing the book, or do I step back and let's keep querying agents because I think this book needs to be published through with an agent. I think I need the assistance of an agent, and it would make it all the better if I had a publisher. The book is going to sell, and this is why I'm here because, guys, let's just say this: dare to dream. I've been wanting to write a book for maybe 4 or 5 years now. Did I start writing the book? No. You know why I didn't? Because I always thought that it was something else. I needed something else before I started writing my book. After I finished college, it took me about 2 years. I took 2 years off before I started my graduate program. And I always wondering, like, I need more education, more education. So I finished my graduate degree. And then guess what? I needed more. I felt like it wasn't enough. It wasn't fulfilling at all. I went to school for 18 plus years and I was waiting to see what is there to do before I can continue on, you know? But what I found out is this: you have to dare to dream. If you can dream it, guys, you can make it happen. One of the things that I always tell myself is the decisions that we make today dictates what happens tomorrow. So with that being said, I set off writing this book. I started writing the book in May and I finished the book. And not only when that I finished the book, prior to finishing that book, I published my own children's book onto KDP Amazon, which is available now on Amazon. You can go to my Author Central page and see everything that I have, all my products that I have listed now at Amazon.com, and just type in my name, Isaac Lewis. Everything that I have published will pop up. And my thing is this: being afraid of being afraid. That's what sets everybody back. We have this little voice in our head that tells us that we can't do anything, that it's not possible to succeed, we're gonna fail. We can give ourselves 1,000 reasons, legitimate reasons to not do something, and they'll all be legitimate. There's nothing you can say if you got poor health, if you have ill children or ill parents, or even if you work too long, you work too much, you don't make enough money. We have legitimate excuses. However, at the end of the day, you gotta figure out if you're gonna take that first step or those first couple steps, because at the end of the day, if you take those first couple steps, when you look back, you'll be further than where you started. I remember I used to only dream and fantasize about what it would be like to be an author, or I would fantasize what would it be like to own a Porsche, my dream car. These are all things that gave me the determination to go ahead and start writing that novel, to go ahead and publish my first children's book, to go ahead and buy my Porsche. These are all things that I decided that there's no more dreaming, there's no more fantasizing. I was tired of it. I was done with it. I was just like, it's time to put my feet to the ground and let's go for it. Let's hit the ground running. It was time to get a move on. I decided to stop waiting for permission that was never going to come. One thing you got to know is that nobody is ever going to give you that permission that you're looking for. You can wait as long as you want. That little voice in your head is going to get bigger and louder over time before you get to the point where you just don't want to do it. You're going to disregard that dream. You're going to throw that in the trash can. You're going to say, well, maybe it wasn't for me. Maybe I didn't deserve to do it. I'm just not in the right position. But we all know what's the truth is. The truth is that little voice got so loud, got so proud, grew so grew so real that it paralyzed you. You were unable to actually take that step forward. You were unable to actually do that thing that you need to get started. But you need to know that there's no permission. Nobody's going to ever give you the permission. Because if you look to the right and you look to the left, you're going to probably see your mom and your dad and your whole family doing things like they're going to have regular jobs. They're going to go to work every day. They're going to tell you to study hard, study strong. You're going to graduate college, get good grades, and get a good job, right? Because that's the thing that majority of the people are taught today. And at least that was what I was taught as I was growing up. Maybe buy a house one day or own a car. You're going to do all these things, right? If you study hard, get good grades. But they never tell you what happens if you follow your dreams and you become successful at making these dreams into reality. Nobody ever's going to tell you what happens then, because those are the people who are living their passion. They're living their life every day in true happiness. They don't have to go to work and work for somebody between 8 to 5 and then they come home angry at their family, drink themselves to death because they have to cope with the mental stress that they're having from work or a family or just a combination of the two. If you really want to follow your passion, if you really are daring to dream and you really want to make your dreams and fantasies into a reality, go for it. Take those couple steps forward. Because at the end of the day, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to get around not making mistakes, especially if you're just entering a new field or you're trying to break into a field, you're trying to break barriers. You're going to make mistakes, but I'm going to tell you to make mistakes and learn often. Learn fast. You can read books, listen to podcasts, all these things that'll help you get ahead. It's hard to fail at starting a business right now. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you want to be an entrepreneur, a businessman, or somebody who sells whatever sort of product you want, in this day and age, because of e-commerce, needs and wants are not even distinguishable that much. You can't really tell anymore because they all have their purpose. People wants become a need sometimes, and somebody needs may just be a want. For instance, you're always going to need food, water, and a shelter. That's going to be your main primary basis of a need, a necessity, right? However, things like Grubhub, DoorDash, grocery pickup, so you don't even have to shop in person anymore. These are things that become necessary for people nowadays because of one, personality. You never know what somebody's going through. They may feel uncomfortable going to the stores, and they may feel better just stopping in at the delivery and picking up their groceries rather than going inside the grocery store and shopping for them. So it's not very distinguishable these days. All these different ideas are now becoming canon to society. They're kind of just integrating to society. Now society is becoming this melting pot of different services being provided. So guys, once again, if you want to become that entrepreneur, you want to be an author, photographer, an engineer, an inventor, a singer, go for it, because nowadays the right tools and the right knowledge, you can pretty much do whatever you want. So dare to dream. Be afraid to be afraid, but at the end of the day, take those steps forward, because when you look back, you'll be further than where you started. Dare to dream. Just keep pushing, keep taking those steps forward. While you're doing this, just remember one thing. Remember why you started doing this in the first place. And it starts with the P, the passion. Remember the passion, maintain your passion. There's a saying that goes, courage is not always a roar. Sometimes it's simply saying, I will try again tomorrow.